Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Henry. I'm in my backyard, and we did have plans to go to a lake to do some camping and do some cleanup diving, but everything is postponed now. Just to give you a bit of an update, our province is kind of going through a bit of a soft lockdown right now. Our COVID numbers are rising, and our provincial health officer has released some travel restrictions, and really minor ones, just basically reducing unnecessary travel. So we're quite happy to just kind of put things on hold for a little bit. It's just camping, it's just garbage in lakes, so we'll get back to it. And but I thought I'd cover something else today instead. After the last video, I had a ton of questions regarding the Aluminess storage boxes on the back of my camper. Everything ranged from what I store in it and how do they function. So let me take you up to the truck camper and show you. I'm going to be filming on the street, so maybe some street noises, but you understand. So here we are, back of my camper here. This is the 2014 pop-up Granby on a Dodge 2014 one-ton diesel. As most pop-up campers know, there's an incredible lack of storage space inside, and my problem is when I get to camp, not only am I deploying my camp chairs and stoves and that kind of stuff, but I'm also having to remove scuba gear from inside my camper just so I can actually use the camper. And of course, I also have rescue gear that I bring with me, everything from tire patch kit to chainsaw equipment, my helmet, my chaps. For the followers of this channel, you guys see me use a variety of those things, tire inflation. So, and my back seat is for my two dogs, so I really don't have a ton of space. So basically, when I bought this setup a couple of years ago, there really wasn't any other choice. If I wanted storage boxes on the back of my truck, this was it, Aluminess system. Now, you can get them, these are the deluxe gallery boxes, or galley boxes. They're taller, they're shorter. The standard boxes are about this tall, and I needed the space, so I got the deluxe, which also I ordered the external, what are these, fuel can, or jerry cans, storage trays on top. There's one on each side. And then you can also order on this side only, you can order, instead of the box, you can order a tire carrier. So the way they work, obviously, is they open up, allowing me to have access to the camper. There's a couple latches down here at the bottom. And there we go. So let's talk about what I actually store with these things here. On the top racks here, I have one of these, I'm not sure, like 5-gallon whatever water buckets, and that's actually for the drain spout, the gray water spout. That's for the four-wheel campers. For these guys who are familiar, there's no actual gray water storage with this camper, and so there's a spout that comes outside, and basically I have a hose that drains down into that bucket, so that gets stored outside, gets strapped down with these bungee straps. I've been on some rough roads, going high speeds, and hasn't fallen off yet, so I guess that works. This side over here, I kind of leave the space open for garbage, so if I pick up garbage or whatever, or my own garbage, that gets strapped down on the outside. Over on the on this side over here, I have everything that I need for I have everything that I need for outside living. So I've got a bunch of my camp chairs. These are my Aluminess camp chairs and camp table. I got my stove, my cast iron frying pan in here, and the reason I have all of that in this, and up here I have the fuel canister, some grill, scrub brush, basically some random things. The reason I have all this in here is because this is all my outdoor living stuff. So if it's raining and I'm not gonna sit outside, then I don't need to take the camp chair out of this box here. On this side here, I have all of my work equipment, essentially. I have my my tools. I have all of my tools on this side. So I have my chainsaw, chaps, gloves, sharpening equipment. I have my helmet. I have my tire patch kit. I have my inflation system right here. This is all my winching equipment. and well, yeah. Anyways, this is all my recovery gears down here. So that's what I put in there. And then on this side over here, I had a lot of questions about this. Let me bring you up close and show you about this 80-20 track that I made. So this is the 80-20 track. This is where the max tracks go. This is 80-20 track that I made. It's just a rectangular frame, and it's through bolted to the cabinet itself, and it's just stainless steel bolts with silicone to make sure that it doesn't leak into the so this stays weatherproof. It works really well. Let me show you how to put the max tracks on. So you see, this is the tracks simply just slot on. It's a really snug fit. These little tabs, they just turn, and you can lock. There's 4 of them. You can just lock them in place, and there's no wiggle room at all because the tolerance, the way we made this, the tolerance is super tight. These are the little I guess pins, locking pins that is sold by Max Tracks. They're actually part of the system here. The reason that I put them on here, that I had to make this rack, is because I didn't actually want to put my Max Tracks on the roof. One thing that was pointed out to somebody else in a forum that was trying to figure out where to put their Max Track is that the Max Tracks user had commented that anytime you're using your Max Tracks, they're generally really dirty and full of mud or whatever, and you put them on the roof of your truck or the roof of your truck camper, that's where the mud's going to end up, so that might not be ideal. So people kind of recommend this, and look, man, this is going to be really dirty after you use it. You might want to store this in such a way that it doesn't impact the cleanliness of your vehicle. And obviously take it off. Just do this in reverse. And that's it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the modifications that I did to this thing here. Because you see here, I have these strip lights from Amazon, super cheap. I think they're like 30-40 bucks or something like that. And they're LED, and they're hardwired into my existing brake light system. So essentially, my running lights are on. This is on when my running lights are on. It works as a turn signal, and as well as it works as a stop light. I covered this in a previous video. In fact, the way this camera is positioned right now, you can see it's actually very difficult to see my turn signal on either side. Like, you can barely see the one side, I think. Yeah. And you can't see the other side at all. So if you were up close to me and my intention is to turn left, you wouldn't be able to tell. So having these additional lights on these boxes is just another way to get people to notice what I'm doing, turning, stopping, whatever it may be. And the wire essentially comes from the light, goes through the inside of the cabinet, drilled a hole on the outside here, and I use these weatherproof, whatever these connectors are, they actually just come right through. When you tighten them up, not only do they secure the wire so they can pull in or out, but it also seals itself. And then it's run down, and then it's gator clipped, I guess that's the word for it. These snap clips, they just clip right into my wiring harness. So that's yeah, that's how I wire that. So here's all the things that I don't like about it. The first thing is that these boxes, they actually lock in a position in a single way. So when I open this up, it locks 90 degrees to the truck. So which means that this door here doesn't actually open far enough for the stop latch, which is right here. This door latch mates up with the other end right here. It doesn't actually work. So this door, I basically have to use a bungee to keep this in place, otherwise it keeps slamming open in the wind. Aluminess makes this box system for all sorts of vehicles. They make bumpers for Dodges, Toyotas, Chevys, whatever, it doesn't matter. And one of the most popular upgrades that bumper upgrades that people use the Aluminess for is for the Mercedes van builds. I don't own a Mercedes van, and I might check this with my two buddies, dive buddies, who are building their own vans. That you've seen this, Alex and Otto, which you've seen on this channel. But I'm pretty sure their door in the back actually opens 100, it'll be 90 degrees, right? So which means that their van door essentially pivots this way, and it would slam against this. It would have nowhere to go. So the problem here, and I'll bring you up close so I can show you. So the problem here is that this pivot right here, this is the pin that essentially hard locks this door when this thing pivots. You can see there that's moving, right? So they should have made this with another matching notch right here, this little flange portion, whatever you want to call that, so that you can actually swing this box open another 10-15 degrees and then have a secondary hole right here so you can pin this whole cabinet further away. And if you did that, this whole cabinet would be out further, allowing this door to be open, as well as any Mercedes van door, which I think they advertise themselves that you can open them all the way around to the side of the vehicle. But at the minimum, if you got these things in the way, you got to at least open it 90 degrees or north-south to the truck. You guys know what I mean, right? Second thing that I found really, really annoying about this bumper is that this bumper, the way it's attached to the stock bumper mount on the frame itself, is that there was no allowance to changing how the bumper sits on the body, meaning that it's literally a bolt and a bolt hole. It's no slot, there's no adjustment bracket, there's nothing. My front bumper actually has an adapter plate that goes in between, and that adapter plate can be shifted all sorts of positions, so you can actually change your bumper to align it so that it's actually mounted properly on your vehicle. This one here, it's mounted exactly where it is. It has no other place to go. So this gap right here preferably wouldn't be there, because it just doesn't look as nice. But just how they made the bumper, there was no adapter plate for this thing. Well, there we go, folks. I hope you enjoyed that video showcasing the bumper setup here with the boxes. Comment below if you have any questions. Thank you so much for my Patreon members, and we'll see you in the next video.